Oh, I do have something. Hello, YouTube. How's everybody doing? It is Tuesday. hmm And I'm just getting off from work. And I am getting an appetizer ready. I am. Now, I initially scheduled this live this morning because I ran across, oh, ouch. I ran across something that got my attention and I scheduled a live. However, I'm kind of not feeling like doing a live, but I didn't cancel it because I just wanted to come on here and chit chat. And I guess if nobody shows up over here, I'll go over to the other page because I do have something to talk about. Um, Here, let me pull it up on my phone. Let me pull it up on my phone. Let's see, saved. I've seen some very weird stuff on social media here lately. Very weird. I'm going to tell you about a few of them. One is this woman who is in a full blown, and she is of the Caucasian persuasion, she's in a full blown sexual relationship with her biological son. Uh huh. I mean, honey, bragging about how good the sex is and how he blowing her back out and all of the things. I'm just getting some stuff here ready. I'll chit chat with y'all till I finish. Then I need to make a phone call. And the what's scary about it is that when she had the child at an early age, she ended up putting him up for adoption. And then they say about 8 years ago, he, started looking for her and he found her and they started to build a relationship. And then they were sexually attracted to each other. And then the next thing you know, they was having sex. Now, I didn't know that incest was against the law. I didn't know that. I knew that it was foul. I knew it was against my religious beliefs. I knew it was not ethically correct. I knew all of those things, but I didn't know it was against the law. And then the article that I was reading, she said they had to, because girl, they was acting like, you know, wasn't nothing to it but to do it. They was all out in public doing the thing. And then I guess somebody must have mentioned, or maybe she looked it up, I'm not sure. And it was discovered that it was against the law for them to have that incestuous relationship. So she said they dialed it down. Now, she's a part of a group called GAS, and I cannot remember what those letters stand for. But ultimately, she was saying that this is this is not unusual. It is very unusual. People, nobody sleeps with their children or their family members, or they shouldn't be. But she said they were sexually attracted, and those letters identify a group of people who have a sexual attraction to family members, maybe their siblings, maybe their kids. I've never heard of this group before. It ain't really nothing the group can do for me. They can't explain nothing to me. They can't justify nothing. They can't make it make sense. It's nothing they can tell me about it. It was nasty. I felt grimy just reading the article, you guys, but they seemed very happy. Now, I put all of this stuff is on my phone, and I did not get a chance. It was kind of busy today, so I didn't get a chance to send it to my email to show you. But no big deal, because if I'm gonna show you something, I'm gonna show you what's in the underground, and we should be going to the underground here shortly. Again, I'm just preparing a little shake and bake real quick. And when I get that done, then we'll either end this live and go on, or we'll go to the underground. Just depends on who shows up. Now, there's a black lady I want to talk about. Her name is Cherry Payton. I don't know if you've heard of her. Let me see if I can see what state she's from. It doesn't. Fort Bend. Fort Bend County District Attorney's Office has the case. I don't know if that's Fort Bend, Indiana. I don't know where Fort Bend is, but I don't know. When you say Fort Bend, it make me think military base, but I don't think that's the case. Anyway, Texas. Texas. It's out of Texas. Okay, it's out of Texas. So Cherry Payton has been convicted of continuous sexual abuse of a young child, and she's been sentenced to 30 years. Now, she didn't necessarily abuse this child, but she could definitely be friends with Ben Line and his clique and Hillary and all of them, because you know what they do, what's be going on with the childrens with them. She had a 13-year-old daughter, and she forced her daughter to engage with a 47-year-old man. And this is supposed to be, or was supposed to be, part of their religious beliefs. Now, it doesn't say what religion she is. And I didn't think, well, maybe no, I don't think that there is such a religion that condones such a thing. Now, there are cultures, there are cultures who permit, for situations like this, like when they have arranged marriages and things like that. But I don't think there's a religion that pushes that narrative. I really don't. 13 years old. Now remember, earlier in the year, everybody was in an uproar about this black family that was on Facebook. Everything got exposed on Facebook, where this young girl, who I think was in college, was messing with an older man. I want to say he was 50 something. And they were saying, or maybe she wasn't in college, maybe she was in high school. I can't remember, but y'all remember the 19-year-old girl? She was what, about 18? Might have been 16 when she met him. I don't know. But she met him, they fell in love, and they got married, and the internet went crazy. She was saying how much they was in love and people don't understand, and da 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 da. Um, it feels a lot like that, but for me, there's a difference in the age gap. 13-year-olds don't get to make those decisions. I mean, I guess if you run away from home, you could. But the young lady that everybody was upset about, she appeared to be old enough to be having sex. Let's say that. She was old enough to be having sex. But a 13-year-old is not old enough to be having sex. So I don't know. I don't know if these women are getting paid by these men to let them violate their children. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a second. I got to apply a moisturizer. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. And I'm not really sure I even want to understand. But when you're following the news, you can't follow along if you don't understand. So understanding means everything. Hang on, I'm almost finished. And then I can put some screens up here. Now, At one of the houses that I stopped by yesterday, I did witness some foolishness, and I am going to tell you about it. It's a shame on Mother's Day that you would have a mother to be so evil. Because this lady fixed this man's plate. And I don't know, she could have been mad at him for for all I know. I don't know what the situation was. But I do know that I watched her fix his plate while I was fixing me a drink. And of course, the cook had been drinking way too much, and he burnt up a lot of their food. And I watched her prepare this man's plate, give him all of this burnt up ass chicken, and then, as though to hide it, she put barbecue sauce on it as though he wouldn't know. When he bite into it, it's going to tell the tale because it's going to be nasty. I was like, why do that? Why even, like, I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me. Where is my lighter? It didn't make sense to me. I hope I got a lighter in my purse because I need it. I took it out for something else. That's not a lighter. That's Vaseline. Um, I don't know. It just didn't make sense, and I just thought to myself, if somebody could be evil like that on Mother's Day, mm, 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 mm. But God got some for people like that. You know, I'm gonna have to go all the way out to the car. Oh well. Oh well. Um. Yeah. Little little bit of craziness. Um. I read that the world's most wanted hacker named Jeremy Hammond was arrested because his password was his cat's name plus 1, 2, 3. Now, I wonder what the cat's name was. And passwords are supposed to be something that is exclusive to you. You don't share passwords. So if you arrested him based on the name of his password, that means you were eavesdropping or illegally surveilling him, right? To charge him with something like that. I mean, people, listen, when you're looking at the news and you're watching stuff, you better start breaking it down and try to make it make sense so that you can have a better idea of what's really going on around you. Chris Paul's mom, there was this little white boy, looked like he was a kid. He put his hands on Chris Paul's mama at the game, and Chris Paul told him, "I'll see you later." I'll see you later. And it's kind of sad because we do know that white privilege will get you jammed up, and it would be a shame to lose a prominent basketball figure such as Chris Paul, as well as losing a black man to the system. It it would be unfortunate. But some people don't play about their mama. Mm. Wow. Kalani had an interview with the Morning Hustle. Do I want to play it? I'm gonna go ahead and play this excerpt, a clip of this, so that you can hear it, and then I'll do a little commentary on it. So let me give you a little background first. So Kalani took to Instagram to complain that her interview with Morning Hustle sucked. And that was on May 6th. And after doing that interview, she said she wasn't going to do any more interviews. She only cared about her fans, and that's it. If you like the music, cool. If you don't, fine. But I'm guessing from this interview that Kalani must be a transgender, because in the report it says that she uses he, she, and they pronouns interchangeably. However, many fans believe that Headcrack's play on words was inappropriate. So I'm not sure, but it sounds like maybe she is a part of the LGBTQ community. She was offended, and I'm going to let you guys listen to it. Oh, yeah. And she is with us. She go by the name of Kehlani. New album, Blue Water Road, is out right now. I like the vibe, man. Make some noise one time. How you feeling, Queen? You know, trying my best to not be tired as well. Right? It's been a hell of a run. So much content. Now, when he got through with his opening and he looked at her and asked her how she was doing, when the camera was looking at her, she was so disgusted. She was so disappointed. The way she rocked in her chair, you could tell she didn't really want to be there. It felt like she really wanted to get up and leave, but for whatever reason, she didn't. She endured the session with them. She gave them very short answers. Yes, no, yes, no. When I was listening to the interview, which I listened to a few times so that I could try to see where it went left. For me, it went left from the very beginning when he started with the he, she, we, it, them, they. That kind of wasn't a good way to start. But of course, he acted like he didn't understand what upset her, what bothered her, and they was trying to figure out how they offended her. But here's the thing. I know they saw her cringing in that seat, and not once during the interview did they stop and say, hey, are you okay? You seem uncomfortable. Nobody tried to check on her. They were only concerned with doing the interview. They didn't care how uncomfortable she felt. And I'm guessing that's one of the reasons why she bashed him. The man that assaulted Dave Chappelle. Maybe I should save some of this for my other channel, because I really came over here to go on the underground. But I had to get something to get my head right first. But since nobody's here, it's much easier for me. I will say this real quick before I go. I found out today that somebody that I had not talked to in a very, very long time lost their mom the day before Mother's Day. They don't know whether to call it a self-termination or whether it was an accidental overdose. They're not really sure what to call it. They're still, obviously investigating it. It's too soon to get a solid answer. But she fears that, her mom may have taken, self-terminate. And I said, well, why would she do that? And why would she do it on Mother's Day? Because she believes that she intended for everything to go down on Mother's Day and for her kids to find her no longer with us on Mother's Day. How sad. I mean, it's so uncomfortable. You would self-terminate close to a special day or holiday even, in hopes that your family would find you like that. Listen, a lot of stuff has been going on these last 2 years that we've been on lockdown, if you will. And a lot of people are struggling. are struggling trying to make ends meet, trying to grapple with the fact that they may not ever be able to go back to work. Um, you know, it's very, very hard. So if you could just take a few minutes out of your busy day to say a prayer for these people, and if you have the ability sometimes to take a moment out of your day and pay it forward, you would definitely increase your chances of going to heaven, because it's rough out here. It's really, really rough. Um, and people really just, they need hope. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw last night, because I was up kind of late. So last night I saw some people talking about what happened, over in the beef sector. So I guess somebody found out where Jay Wilson works, and they put it out there, and then the people started calling his job. And by the time I knew anything had happened, I heard somebody saying what a day or two left everything had happened, um, that he had taken all of his videos down. And I was still trying to get understanding. Well, why would he take his video down? His video down. Well, when you have a job and you're trying to keep your job, there's some things you don't want your employer to hear you say or see you perform, et cetera, et cetera. Well, as time goes on, the rumor is now that he was terminated from his job. And I heard somebody say earlier that somebody called a hospital, and the lady told him something along the lines of, 1,000 people have called here today, and we, whatever, whatever, whatever. I was like, 1,000 people call that man's job? And I don't know if they was calling to just verify that he worked there, or if they was calling to get him fired. What was interesting to me is that there were so many people that were saying, oh, they didn't have to call his job. That's ridiculous. They just mad. And why would somebody do that? And it's almost as though they don't realize that they're in a sector where evil resides. You know what I'm saying? Where people do vindictive things in the dark. They're there every day listening, engaging, chatting, responding, watching the same thing happen to other people, but yet they want to find humanity and decency in a sector where there is none. If you can't recognize evil enough to get away from it, what does that make you? What does that make you? I don't want to see people being done wrong, people being mistreated, kids being attacked. I don't want to see any of that. So I try to stay, away from it. I've even deleted one of the platforms in the underground that used to give me a heads up, about what's going on out there with the kids. But I deleted it because the last time I was over there, I was so distraught is not even a word. I was just so aggravated. I think I know, probably a little stressed out about what I was seeing, to where I couldn't. So I had to let it go. I just deleted it. It was like I don't want to update. Somebody else gonna report post something from that platform. So I'll get to see it, another time if it's something that interests me. But yeah. So anywho, um, nobody's over here, so I'm not gonna spend any time on the underground. I'm gonna go outside and shake and bake, and then I might be back a little bit later. I saw Hassan Campbell on, so I may go over and check him out. He's talking about Thugger and Gunner. They got hit with RICO charges, so they're about to look at somewhere between 30 to 50 years in prison. So it'll be interesting to find out what that was all about, what happened. Um, yeah, and these are our young black men. So anyway, hey, if you came through, thank you for coming through, hanging out. I appreciate it. Be blessed, and I'll catch you later.